they say, Jesus is the way. He will bring us through. Our praise is overdue. No matter what they say, Jesus is the way. He will bring us through. Our praise is overdue. Praise is overdue.
Somebody praise
Praise
him.
is overdue.
When you stand to your feet,
He will bring us through.
somebody owes Jesus a
Our
praise right
praise
now.
is overdue.
He's been mighty good to you.
Praise is overdue.
Show him how much you love him.
His praise is
Praise
overdue.
him. Give him worship
He
and
will
honor.
bring us through.
He will bring us through.
His praise is
Praise is
overdue. Put away your tears and sorrow. My God's the same today and tomorrow. Whatever it is you face.
Hello, I am Kenisha Mosley, and you're watching Late Night with Jerry Royce Live. I'm excited because we have an amazing show for you this evening, and we're talking to an amazing, phenomenal woman. Her name is...
I'm Coach Kenisha Wallace.
And Coach Kenisha Wallace has an amazing story, and I just want her to start off with just her foundation of why she is who she is. So please let us know a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so like I said, I'm Coach Kenisha. I have two different programs. The first one is Wellness Drive, and that one basically focuses on the 7 dimensions of wellness. You know, you have your physical, emotional, spiritual, all those different ones. And what I like to point out is that if you're well in all 6, but lacking terribly in one, you're not really well, are you? And the example I like to give is, say for instance, you have this guy who works out all the time, very fit, but every time he goes home, he's thinking about suicide. Is he really well? No, not at all. And so that's what I hope to help everyone achieve, is wellness in all those 7 different dimensions. And then next, the one I'm very passionate about, I have my Greater Than Poverty. And this one basically micromanages poverty. I feel like poverty has been macro-managed, looked at from a bigger perspective, but we need to break it down and look at all those different aspects of poverty so we can help everyone achieve prosperity.
That's truly amazing. You have so many different segments of your programs that you're doing, and it's so defined. And I'm really encouraged to just talk about a couple of those things, because I feel like you have an avenue where you're giving people choices.
Most definitely.
You know, and it is so important that, you know, you have choices, but sometimes you don't know if you have choices, especially if you didn't grow up knowing that
Right.
you have something different than you grew up with, right?
Correct.
So it's so important for us to be able to talk about those things, and I believe that's what you have to offer.
Correct.
So tell me a little bit about your tag name that you have. So it's a little unique tag name. So it's not just a one-word tag name, but you have something that you said that was so powerful. Can you let us know what that is?
Yes. Okay, so everyone who knows me know I live by this tag name, and it is either you want it or you don't. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's going to come down to. Do you want it bad enough or you don't? So I encourage everyone to really incorporate that into their lives, and you will really see how it helps you gain accountability for your actions and helps you grow as a person.
Wow, that's some power behind that name, because, you know, sometimes you become to a place where you want choices. You know, all of us have desires, right?
Correct.
You know, and we feel that way where we want something different, but we don't know how to get there. But I feel like you wanted something different,
Most
and
def.
you were not going to give that up. And I believe that you're doing that in everything that you have today. And also, I know that you have a book, too. Can you talk about that with us?
Okay, so my book is called When the Soul is Tired and Tied, and it basically gives an in-depth look of soul ties. I know that's a topic that no one really wants to touch on. So it basically starts with my childhood, and it starts with the isolation, depression, the suicide, and then it leads to careless sexual acts, and then it leads to, that's when I realized that my soul was tired and tied.
I love how you are transparent on what you grew up with and what was surrounding you, because a lot of times, you know, in life, we have things that happen to us, you know, that we have no
Right.
control over, you know, and I love that you are bringing that up and saying, listen, I'm transparent. This happened to me,
Right.
and I want to let you know that you're not alone. So can you talk to me a little bit about that, of not being alone in this process?
Okay, so one thing I really touched on in my book, I feel as though it's a myth that people really want to be alone. It's something deeper than that. And so I explore how people begin to isolate themselves and how that can lead to other things. And it transpires into you trying to fill this void. And so it can be through alcohol, it can be through sex, it can be through drugs, but eventually that's what it leads to, trying to fill a void. And so I guess that's where I come in at, as the coach, to let you know that you're not alone, that you have someone who's here to help you through that poverty stage, that suicide, being well, and different other aspects of your life.
That's amazing. A lot of times we go through life and we reach success, right? You know, we may be a pastor, we may be in the government, we may be in somebody's, life where we're an influencer, right? But a lot of times we can't really be transparent about that because, you don't know how people will take that, right? So I love how, just open you are about, your story and how you're leading that with your program. Because I believe you're going to touch so many different types of people that, are feeling that they are, stuck in certain ways, and they feel like they can break free through your program.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I want to know, a little bit about some of your programs that you have out today. You have a lot going on, which is awesome. And, you touch so many different areas that people can touch. What do you really want people to focus on in your programs? What do you have going on with that?
Okay, so in my programs, like I stated, I would want people to really focus on getting out of poverty. And that can be mental poverty, physical poverty, but I eventually want you free from those states. And also I do suicide intervention. It's different from counseling. It's basically going in with someone who's either low risk or high risk of suicide and just basically working with them, talking them through those stages so we can prevent it. And also, if you look at the statistics, the correlation between poverty and suicide, it has a positive correlation. So I'm working to see how can we decrease both of those in numbers.
That's amazing. And, it's so important for us to understand that, because sometimes we look at poverty, we look at it surface, and we don't realize that poverty can be in so many different ways. You can have the money, but you don't have the mental capacity to go on, right? You can be a millionaire, but you still want to leave Earth tomorrow, right? And I love how you talked about that. So that means your program touches so many different avenues that people are really focused on today, and they're dealing with, and they need some help, Yeah. I feel that's what you're doing, and definitely you're bringing freedom in a lot of people. So tell me just how, because you're right now in Huntsville, Alabama, right?
Correct.
So tell me how you're reaching people in Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay, so my target audience is children and teens, but of course when dealing with poverty, you eventually have to go up the scale to the adults. But right now I offer one-on-one sessions, group sessions, just fun activities. One of my mottos is, if it's not fun, I'm not going to show up, because I believe that's how you keep things fresh and keep people wanting to come back and experience more of your program. So I offer, like I said, one of my favorite things to do is the vision board brunch, and it's basically to help the kids and the teens see where what you want to be in life and help them set those goals.
I really resonate with that, because it's very important for teens to understand that, if you have a goal, you need to see it every day. You need to watch it every day. No matter what you're going through, no matter what's going on. I know it may look tough right now, but if you look at this vision board and you look at where you're going, moving forward, right? It feels good to do that, and then you'll be empowered to go forward.
Correct.
Yeah, I love that, and I feel that, your program that you were in when you were, in school to be a coach, with Coach Terrell. Tell me a little bit about that experience, because that was in Arkansas.
Okay, so believe it or not, before I got in this program, I didn't talk at all. I didn't. He would tell you, I would just sit there, okay, whatever. But it has really allowed me to open up more and really find my purpose. In school, we were only taught to be lawyers, doctors, teachers. I never knew what a life coach was. I knew I always wanted to help people, but I knew I didn't want to be a counselor. And so when I found out about life coaching, I was like, there was like that aha moment that, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do with my life.
That's totally awesome. Sometimes we don't feel that we have value for other people. And, when we realize that we have a story and other
Correct.
people need to hear it, right? And that's when you want to tell the world. So a lot of times you did what, wise people do. They go and get research. They go and get more information, right?
Correct.
And I feel like that you got that in the program that you were with Dr. Cottrell.
Most definitely.
Awesome. So please let everyone know how they can stay connected with you and your program.
Okay, so you can contact me by phone. My number is 870-273-2760, or I can be found on all social media platforms under Kenisha Wallace.
Awesome. Well, listen, you're talking to the amazing Kenisha Wallace, and her tag name again is
Either you want it or you don't.
Either you want it and you don't. And also, before we end today, Kenisha has the amazing book. Can you repeat that to us again?
When the Soul is Tired and Tired.
And how can everyone reach that, get a copy of that too?
Okay, so this book can be found through me. It can be found on my website, www.wellnessjob.com, or it can be found on Amazon.com.
Awesome. Well, listen, I'm so grateful for you. I'm thankful that you
Thank
spent this
you.
time with me today on
Thank
Late
you,
Night
thank
with
you.
Jerry Royce Live. We're excited. So definitely we're looking forward to, connecting with you again on all the projects that you have.
Most definitely.
Awesome. Well,
Thank you.
Thank you for this time with me today.
Thank you.
Awesome. We had a great time.
All right, Arthur, you're up.
Paul and Silas was wrapped up in that Roman jail. Had nobody to go their bail. Silas said, "You preach," and Paul said, "I'll sing." And just about that hour, something happened. I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour, when the Roman guards go to sleep, so I can talk to my heavenly Father up in heaven on the throne. He's the only one I know that can save and deliver my soul in the midnight hour. Yeah, in the midnight hour. Yeah. Sometimes I like to be with friends, then again like to be alone, so I can talk to my heavenly Father. Say it again now. Talk to my heavenly Father up in heaven on the throne. He's the only one I know that can save and deliver my soul in the midnight hour. Oh yeah, late in the midnight hour. Oh yeah, in the midnight hour. Oh yeah, late in the midnight hour. Yeah, in the midnight hour. Yeah, in the midnight hour. Yeah, there's joy in the name of Jesus. Deliverance in the name of Jesus. Salvation in the name of Jesus. Spirit in the name of Jesus. One of these days, it won't be long. You'll look for me, and I'll be gone. Going to heaven to sing and shout. There'll be nobody to put me out. And I'm gonna sit down at the welcome table, and I'm gonna feast on milk and honey, and I'm gonna sing and never get tired. Will you be there? Will you be there? What I wanna know is, will the meeting over yonder in that New Jerusalem. Somebody I don't wanna go. Somebody I don't wanna go. Somebody I don't wanna go to that New Jerusalem. Hey, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hello, I am Lakeisha Mosley, and you are watching Late Night with Jerry Royce Live. I'm excited to be featured in DeKalb County, Georgia, where we are representing the amazing coaches that are from Arkansas. And we have this amazing young lady right here with us, and her name is
Coach Nicole Williams. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on your time here, because I'm excited to talk about everything that you have going on. So please let me know what you have going on as a coach.
Okay, as a coach, my emphasis is focusing on child advocacy, people that deal with going through sexual abuse, any kind of physical abuse, mental abuse, and overcoming just many life challenges or obstacles that we face on an everyday basis.
Yes, that's profound, because a lot of times, it's not easy to talk about those things, talk about some of those segments in our life. And a lot of times we want to keep those covered up, we don't want to really uncover those to anyone else. But I'm loving that you are exposing that area of your life, and you're going to shed some inspiration with someone. So please tell me, where did that passion come from?
I think the passion just came from me going through child abuse at an early age, and then I became a teen mom, and then things just kind of started spiraling out of control. Like, I was excelling on one end, as far as, even though I was a teen mom, I continued to go to school, I went on to graduate college, things of that sort, but mentally, emotionally, and things like that, I was spiraling out of control. And so it just inspired me to inspire people to deal with those issues, and instead of overlooking them, and just because we're excelling financially, or we may look like we're successful on the outside, I was like, we have to deal with those inner emotions and inner things that are going on.
That's so amazing, because I can relate to that. A lot of times we don't want to talk about those deep, dark, and ugly issues in life, and we really want to keep those covered up, and
Swept under the rug.
Exactly, right? And that's amazing that you're doing that. And, you resonate with a lot of people out there here today, and they can relate to that. And you seem to have a handle and a solution for someone to be free from all of those struggles that they endured in their past, or they're enduring right now. So please, let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay, so my thing that I like to say is that suppression does not mean healed. And what I mean by that is, so long I went with saying, hey, just because I don't talk about it, or just because, I say that it doesn't bother me, or things of that sort, then I said, it's not a problem. But then when I would get in relationships, or just certain things would happen, and it would trigger emotions for me. And I was like, hey, this is still a problem, and it's something that I have to face, or I won't be able to reach my full potential, because I almost felt like I was in a place where I felt stuck. Like, I'm 24, but my mind is stuck at the little girl that was raped, or the little girl that wanted to commit suicide, or the little girl, that didn't have a father growing up, who left her when he was 2 years old. So I'm looking to fill a void with things of the world, and it was things that would never be able to give me any substance.
Wow, you've reached so many different angles right now that I know that I resonate with, and our audience resonates with as well. Sometimes we do feel stuck, and we feel alone, and we feel like we can't go anywhere because we have these issues that we've had in the past. And don't it feel like, like if I go over here and I'm having a relationship over here, and you think it's going to go well, and it doesn't go well, right? And then it's like, okay, that's okay. I'm gonna forget this, and I'm gonna go over here in another one, and it seems like we're repeating the same cycle.
And a lot of times we repeat this. I feel like we repeat the same cycles because we haven't dealt with issues that's going on with us, and so I feel like what you give out, that's what you're gonna attract back to you. And so if you are broken, then you're gonna attract brokenness. If you are depressed, a lot of times you're going to attract someone that will come in and control you where you can't be, where in areas that you feel like you may not have control. And so a lot of times you have, it has become a normalcy for you to be in tune with abuse, and you think that that's normal. So a lot of times that is what we seek when we in relationships, friendships, or whatever the case may be.
That's something, because a lot of times we feel like we can run and we can get away from it. We feel like we can do anything different than what we're doing, and it's like, oh, I don't need to receive any new information on how to get over it, and it's amazing how, it doesn't go anywhere. Don't we take ourselves with us?
Yes.
Do you feel that?
Most definitely.
It's amazing how that happens, and it really becomes a point in your life to where you just surrender, and you just say, you know what, enough's enough.
Yep.
I cannot get away from myself. So I'm going to have to deal with myself and get some information and get some answers.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened with me, getting to a place where I said, hey, I do want to overcome this. I don't want to keep coming home and I look like I'm happy on the outside, but then when I come home and it's just me, when it's not, the world, you don't have your friends, you don't have your parents, and you go home at night and it's just you in the dark room, and you're like, I have to deal with me. I have to lay here with me. And I got to a point where I was tired of, a lot of people refer to it as being a public success, but inwardly feeling like a failure because of things that I knew that internally I was dealing with, whether it be depression, whether it be suicidal thoughts, whether it be not being confident in myself, not feeling like I was worth anything, and accepting far less than what I knew I was worth or valued at.
Wow, that is amazing, and that just hits so many different points. And I know that everyone can, understand that and feel that a lot of times you being an influencer, being in the limelight, being in the front, right? You're told to cover up all of these ugly things in the back and just look the part. But I feel that you're telling others to not do that, just to be authentic and definitely get some healing on some of those areas that are plaguing them. Because it's not going anywhere, like you said.
It's definitely not going anywhere. And you have to deal with it. And if you don't deal with it, a lot of times you won't be able to reach your fullest potential.
That's amazing that you said that, because a lot of times we do feel like we can rise above and we can keep going to the next level, but we can't go anywhere. We can't go to the next level if we don't hit those issues and those some of those things that plague us, in order for us to go to the next level. And I feel like, when we reach those issues and when we actually deal with them, right, and we receive the healing that we deserve, I feel like we can get that. And I feel like that's what we can get in your program.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
That's amazing. So tell me what your passion is and what you want to get out of the success from anyone that joins your program today.
I think what I want to get out of it mostly is for people to know that, like, for a long time, I was this person who wasn't confident in myself, and when I went through going through sexual abuse at about the age of 14, I was beaten really, really bad by my stepfather, and I ran away. And like instantly, my mind went into survival mode. And I said, hey, I want to do, like, I'm going to run away from home and I'm going to do whatever I have to do to survive. And so my thought was, whether that's prostitution, whether that's being a stripper, like whatever I got to do, I just want to escape this situation instead of dealing with it and facing it, letting my mother know what was going on. I wanted to run, and I was in survival mode. And so me doing that and leaving, I ended up, meeting people that didn't mean me any good. And if I hadn't of gotten to a place where I could say, hey, this is not me. It was just a small voice all the time inside of me that kept saying, you have greatness in you. You have greatness in you. You have greatness in you. And so I started saying, hey, I do have greatness in me, and this is not the life that, I need to live. And so I just want other people to see that when you can get over the emotional bondage, and when you can get over mental bondage and things like that, then you can reach your fullest potential and reach your purpose. Because one thing about it, if you don't know who you are, then anybody can walk up to you and tell you who you are, and you'll believe it.
Listen, if you didn't just preach a word there, you really just said something so profound, about knowing who you are, and about really uncovering why you're here. I really feel that, and I feel that they're going to reach that in your program. So it's amazing that you said something, so profound. You were talking about getting to know yourself and loving yourself, and leaving the baggage behind. But how can they leave that baggage behind in your program?
I think that the biggest thing with leaving something behind is actually facing it, actually admitting that there is something that's going on, or there was something that happened that was so traumatic that it has caused me to hit almost a roadblock, and I don't know how to overcome it. I don't know how to get over it. And so once you can admit it, once you can face it, and it is a spiritual program, and so I always tell people that we overcome by the words of our testimonies. Testimonies are not just given in church. Testimonies are just like me and you having a conversation, and me releasing what's on the inner side of me, because that's what it's about. If I say it out of my mouth, then I can release it from my heart. And if I release it from my heart, then I can be free of those things that are blocking me from being able to love, from being able to release anger, resentment, hurt, confusion, disappointment, just every feeling that may come with what you dealt with in your life.
That is amazing. Listen, if you didn't receive clarity on your program, Miss Nicole's program, when it comes to what she has to offer for you, listen, she just broke it down for you. And you also have an amazing book that you have. Can you please tell us about that?
The name of my book is called Broken for Purpose. And the reason that I named it Broken for Purpose was because when I went through everything that I went through a moment where I kind of question God as to, I know it may sound selfish, but I asked God, like, why didn't it happen to my siblings? Why did it happen to me? And I feel like, everybody is graced for what they have to go through. You are born with every tool that you need to get to whatever it is that God has for you. And so one day I was like, instead of asking, why me, I started saying, why not me? And I started saying, hey, I'm going to use what I went through to help someone else. And then if I hadn't gone through what I went through, I wouldn't be able to talk to you. I wouldn't be able to talk to so many others that I have talked to and helped along their journey. So that's why I call it Broken for Purpose, because there was a purpose in what I went through.
Listen, Broken for Purpose. I love that, and it's amazing. And you also have an amazing tag name that you talk about. Can you tell us real quick about that?
It's called People's Victory. And so how I came up with that name was because I asked my mom one day, I said, I was like, why is it that I'm the only one without a middle name? Like, my siblings have middle names. And she said, you know what? She said, when I was giving birth to you, I didn't know what I was going to name you, and I prayed about it. And she said, and God told me to name you Nicole Williams, and I didn't think anything of it. And so one day I was laying in bed, and God spoke to me and said, hey, if I told her to name you Nicole Williams, that name has meaning. And so I went and I looked it up. And in Hebrew, the name Nicole means people's victory, and Williams means to fight for. And so I feel like my purpose, or what I'm here for, is to fight for people to have victory in their lives.
Listen, if you don't understand what Nicole is, Nicole, she's doing, this is amazing. I'm so inspired, and I'm looking forward to everything that you have to do. Please tell everyone how they can stay connected with you.
Okay, you can stay connected with me on all social media. I am just Nicole Williams. I have another page that's called People's Victory, and you can also stay connected with me through my cell phone, 870-945-1190.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you spent this time with me tonight.
And I'm glad that you had me here.
Thank you so much. Where you are watching Late Night with Jerry Royce Live, and thank you so much for watching with us.
Action.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lakeisha Mosley, and we are watching Late Night with Jerry Royce Live. And I have the amazing master coach with me here today, and this is Dr. Terrell Jenkins, and he is with
Life Coach School of Arkansas.
Awesome. I love your school, and I love everything that you represented in your school, because we have the amazing
Coach Nicole Williams.
Awesome. And she is a graduate of that school, and I love her story. I mean, her story, everything that she has is representing exactly what the nation needs. And I love her programs. And we had so much time to talk about your programs and be able to tell everyone just how, you're going to be able to represent and change the world. So I love that. And Coach Terrell here, and he's the master coach at the school. Can you please let us know a little bit about this amazing young lady that's with me?
Well, I know when Coach Nicole came to the class, actually she did online classes with Coach Kenisha. So she did not actually come to my class. She came to class with Coach Kenisha because she lived out of town. So she did our online classes.
Yeah.
Wow, so that's amazing, and that just told another segment of what your school represents. You can be in state or you can be online.
Absolutely.
So please tell everybody a little bit about that and how they can actually do the online courses and not actually be in Arkansas.
Well, our online courses are designed for people who is out of state or out of town and can't make it to our campus. I teach the classes on campus, and our coach Kenisha Wallace, our online instructor, she does the classes online. And we both, I do mine 4 to 5, she do hers 4 to 5, and we're in class at the same time. So on this trip, we had like 15 students in class. She had like 7, 8, or 9 students, and I had 6, 7 students. So either way, if you're out of state, you're out of town, or you in Jonesboro or surrounding areas, you can't come to the school. No one is limited.
Wow, there you go. There's no excuse. You can reach your dreams. And I represent, just profound leaders around me. And I'm just appreciating Dr. Terrell and everything that he has with his school, because he really does care about his people.
Yes.
And please let us know a little bit about your passion and what keeps you moving forward in your program.
What keeps me moving forward is seeing the coaches like Coach Nicole, like Coach Kenisha, like the other coaches that has came here, to see that energy, to see the passion. And because sometimes, you don't get this opportunity to connect with, Jerry Royce Live and, you don't get that opportunity. And so to build network and connections across the country, what I did since 2013, now I can give back to my coaches to say, hey, here it is. Here go your opportunity. Like Coach Kenisha say, you want it or you don't. I give you the opportunity. I connect you with individuals around the country. We develop workshops. We develop events and things of that nature. The same thing people been doing, forever on a high scale. So now we're here at the Life Coach School of Arkansas, and we coming strong. We building a family of coaches, speakers, entrepreneur men and women, individuals that want to develop their own business. We have, I believe, like 10 to 15 authors that have been developed already through the school. So, that keeps me going just to hear her speak and share her story, because that's healing. And I always say at the Life Coach School of Arkansas, I've said it since day one, it's ministry. It's strictly ministry. And the more coaches we get, the more individuals join the family in different aspects of life. That's ministry that's going out in the street beyond just those walls.
That's amazing. And I feel like, you recognize that, everyone has a story. Everyone has something within them, and, their story needs to be told. And I feel like you hit just an area within everyone's life in your school, as far as, those areas, and to be able to explode in your story. Did you feel that way?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Wow.
And I think that Coach Kenisha, the online instructor, she was a dynamic teacher throughout the course. And so it did make it convenient, because I was thinking, that was part of the thing I was thinking about before I learned that it was an online online class, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to drive, and but it was the sacrifice that I was willing to make, and they were like, hey, we signed you up for the online class, and so I could literally, sit at my desk at home and do the class online, and so it was just a great opportunity. Yeah.
That's amazing. It's a avenue for you to reach your dreams. Mm-hmm. It's a way for you to have commitment, because a lot of times you feel like you don't have commitment if you have to drive, if you don't have that opportunity to do that, if you have family, if you have children, if you have other obligations, you know what I'm saying? You do feel like, boggled down, right? Like, oh, no, I can't reach my dreams today,
Yeah.
But I feel like with the school that we have before us, you don't have to do that. You have so many avenues for you to reach your dreams, and not only that, you have passionate coaches, master coaches that totally love what they do.
Absolutely.
So when they love what they do, they exploit that, they expose that in everything that they have, and I feel like that everyone's reaching that on their level in the school. Yeah.
That's right. And I can piggyback off that. I always say, you don't. Like, if Coach Nicole is moving fast, she came out the gate going. Not all coaches are going to do that. So you got to move at your pace. But the number one thing I have figured out, during the course of a year we've been doing this, you have to be committed. Mm-hmm. The commitment part is the part that's going to take you from one level to the next. Because when you come into the school, you're hyped and you're motivated, you're ready to go. But once those 7 to 9 weeks are over with and you're not in the school, it's that commitment. Do I really want to keep going? Do I really want to keep fighting? Because one thing's going to happen. Life is going to hit you in the face. Mm-hmm. While you're in school, when you graduate and finish, life is still there. Because, you're on a different journey, you're on a different path. So who don't want that to happen? The devil do not want that message to get out. Right. Mm-hmm. So he's going to come and say, hey, God, let me go to Coach Nicole. I'm just going to make her tires get unflat so she can't go to school. Next week, this is what I'm going to do. I just want to get her a little cough where she thinks she can't go. And eventually, that stuff happens that you say, you know what? I'm not feeling this right now, and I want to back away. Mm-hmm. But as long as you committed, no matter what's going to happen, you have to be committed to the commitment to get out here, to spread that ministry, to get these stories out, to change lives, because that's what it's all about. And if she can change one life, I can change a life. Coach Kenisha can change a life. The other 50 coaches can change a life. That's 50 lives being changed. If they can go change life, now we doubling up every time. And that's what the ministry is all about at the school.
And I think just to go off of what he said, another thing that I really loved about the school and the class was we have a weekly call that we do. And, a lot of times you're like, okay, you have a community of people who are doing the same profession, I guess you can say. And so sometimes you can have that thought in the back of your mind, like, okay, we all doing the same thing. We all trying to, and he would always say, they would always express to us, like, this is not a competition. Like, we are a community of people that support one another. If you have an event, then if you're going to be a part of this community, all of us need to go out and support that event or whatever they're having. And so I think it kind of helps you to where you feel like, hey, if I'm out here and I'm trying to get my feet wet, I know that at least if I don't have anybody in the world to have me, I know that my school is going to have my back and they'll be there to show up, because nobody wants to plan an event and walk into an empty room, So.
Listen, there you go. Listen, we have to close out. We're out of time, and I'm just so excited. This is amazing. Please let everyone know in the studio audience how they can connect with you really quickly.
Well, you can connect with me, Terrell Jenkins, or Terrell C. Jenkins, on all social media platforms. You can go to my website at www.tapaward.com. That is www.tapaward without the S.com. Or you can find me at lifecoachschoolarkansas@gmail.com. Send me an email and let's get you registered into the school.
All right. And Coach Nicole, real quick.
Hold on. Look, I thought that was it. You caught me off guard.
No, real quick. Just let everybody know how they can connect with you.
Oh, you can connect with me on all social media at Nicole Williams and People's Victory.
Awesome. Well, there we go. This is Late Night with Joey Royce Live. Thank you for watching.
Good.
Watch the news lately. Now I can see the hearts breaking. The world's going crazy. Enough is enough. Mothers and fathers losing sons and daughters. Senseless tragedies. But I believe we will rise up. Take a stand, never give up. We'll never break, never lose hope. See, I believe better days are ahead of us. So wipe your tears, hold your head up. Cause at the end of the tunnel, peeking through the darkness, I can see the morning. We will rise. Yeah. We gon' shine. We gon' shine through the darkness. We go high. Even when it go low. our nation. There's no compassion. So tell me, where's the love? Social injustice, secret motives, seem double-edged. Enough is enough, 'cause we will rise up. Take a stand, never give up. We'll never break, never lose hope. See, I believe better days are ahead of us. So wipe your tears on your head up. At the end of the tunnel, peeking through the darkness, I can see the morning. Yeah, we will rise. We will rise. We'll rise. Yeah, we gon' shine. We gon' shine through the darkness. Oh yeah. Even when it go low, we gon' be alright. We will rise.
As all this stuff is revealed, I know it's hard. I know the struggle is real, but so is God. He can either calm this storm or he can be Noah's Ark. And in him we can survive the flood that's on us all. He said temptation to come, just be ready for it. Doubt screams what if, faith says I already know it. But what good is a mustard seed if you never sow it? Rise up, we finna move this mountain, prepare the ocean.
Yeah.
Or are we just passively reading 1 Corinthians? Are we just passively reading 1 Corinthians? Yes, are we just passively reading 1 Corinthians 13? We say we love, but do we really know what it means? Maybe we should learn what it means. Maybe we should learn what it means. Maybe we should learn what it means. He loves me, and I really love the Lord. When at least with my mouth I say I do. He loves me, but if I don't show love to my brother, then I lie to myself that I really love the Lord. Na 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 do we find it hard to love when we've been loved by love himself? Why do we find it hard to love each other like Christ loves us? Requires sacrifice from us. Sometimes we don't want to work that hard. Sometimes we don't want to make the effort. But we ought to, yes. We should.
You know, I'd be like, Julio, let's get the ad-lib and stuff. I do da do da 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 do da da. A sweet da 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 da. Oh my God, that's like so smooth, like scat or something like that. Maybe talking in tongues, you know what I mean? Ah. You walk right in the church. You got on a dress that I like, looking like you're coming from work, and your shoe game is looking so nice. I wish that you could sit right next to me. Maybe we can read a scripture from 1 through 3. 1, 2. Now wait a minute, is the usher walking over here right next to me? Then he pointed my direction, said, go ahead and take a seat. I think I feel that God just went and blessed me. But I gotta keep my cool, 'cause she put a Bible next to mine. She put a Bible next to mine. Father God, I hope my timing's right. Every good man needs a Christian wife, Christian wife, Christian wife. See, God has a way to positioning things right for you. And sometimes you can't see it until it comes right to you, from you. And that's just how he works, no questions asked. Roman 8:28, Roman 8:28, please keep the faith. You're going to have to believe, 'cause God got something smooth right up his sleeve. And that's God's purpose, and it's worth it. And she's worth it. Nobody's perfect. Put a Bible next to mine. She put a Bible next to mine. Father God, I hope my timing's right. Every good man needs a Christian wife, Christian wife, Christian wife. I da da do and da da dee and why da da do da do da. Da da toi, da da toi, da dee. Put a Bible next to mine. She put a Bible next to mine. Father God, I hope my timing's right. Every good man needs a Christian wife, Christian wife, Christian wife. Put a Bible next to mine. She put a Bible next to mine. Father God, I hope my timing's right. Every good man needs a Christian wife, Christian wife, Christian wife. See, God has a way to position things right for.
He will bring us through. Our praise is overdue. Praise is overdue.
Somebody praise him.